I'm absolutely beside myself. I have invited a whole lot of kids over to my house
Yeah.
for an impromptu Peter Pan rehearsal.
Oh.
And even my daughter was in her pajamas going, "What have you signed up for, Mummy? You're having grade sixes to my house?"
Oh, my God. How many of them are there?
Unable to tell you.
Untold.
Infinite. Welcome to So Uncouth, a podcast filled with conversations you can't have in polite company. I'm Victoria Hannaford, a recovering journalist. I'm with Caroline Craig, an actor who has committed to helping the youth of today hone their thespian skills. And we're with our friend, the mysterious Bunsen burner, who remains elusive but has strong recollection and feelings about the fashion from the 2010s.
Oh my God. What is coming for me? There's something there. She's getting me back for last week because I may have alluded, or actually basically just flat out accused her of wearing pants that were 2 sizes too small for a decade. Okay?
Thank you. That's important foregrounding. We are three friends who live in three different cities, and you're joining our weekly catch up. It might be a bit contentious this week. We're about to find out. Hold on. And we're delighted you're here with us. You may not be delighted, but Bunsen, you're right. Well detected, because there was something that I really wanted to pick up on last week because, in the editing process.
Don't couch it in this. Actually, yeah, I've been thinking about it. It's like, I'm going to get you back. That's what this is about.
No.
It's been brewing.
Okay, I'm on the defense
Listen.
already, and I don't even know why just now.
We'll get to it.
Okay.
I just want to say that I may have a slight vulnerability hangover from the revelation of last week. I did feel good about revealing the high crack.
Yeah.
I was messaged by a couple of people.
Do they have high cracks? Have you got any other?
No. I think
So
I'm a
do you-
community of one, like the sit-down paddleboard.
Do you feel more alone? Yeah.
No, I feel okay about it.
Okay.
But what I would say is, people message me, but no one contested it. And what I think is that everyone is sort of relieved that it's out there now, and we're all on the same page. They've seen it clearly,
Yeah.
and it was not something that was visible to my eyes. Like I could,
because they were behind you.
correct, but there was always a sort of slight wind that I was sort of channeling through the crack into the lower region. So there was, I did have a sort of peripheral awareness of it. But I think everyone's just happy that secret is out there and it's okay. No, Bunsen, I haven't been ruminating on this. It actually just occurred to me this morning. I was like, tramp stamps, like low slung jeans. And then you see where I'm going with this. You mentioned tramp stamps and low slung jeans, but you neglected to say that you yourself, while we're protecting your anonymity here, you are, as part of a community yourself, you do have a tramp stamp, correct?
Do you still have that?
Do you think I went and paid money to get it removed?
I thought it might have just worn off.
No, that's not what happens to Celtic 90s tattoos. They stay for life.
They're in your DNA, aren't they?
Did that occur to you at all, that maybe you were like equally in the crosshairs of someone like Derek Blaz-Turd for your own fashion choices? No,
absolutely not. Because
that is harsh, Victoria. That's really you went there.
Well, I was front and center. He was telling my life story.
No, I'll tell you why. Because I actually had the first tramp stamp, and it wasn't called a tramp stamp when I got it. Okay.
So I want to hear the whole story.
Okay.
What is the origin story of the tattoo that has now become known as a tramp stamp? Take us back to the 90s.
I'd wanted to get a tattoo for a while. I'm just trying to work out the timing. So we're talking about 1994, something like that.
First year uni?
Something like the second, something like that. Anyway, are you now Googling when did tramp stamps originate?
No. I did read about them and someone said the 80s and I thought that was maybe a bit wrong.
No.
It feels like massively 90s.
I'm here to tell you it's wrong.
Great.
Anyway, and I'd always wanted to get a tattoo. Well, when I say always, I mean for 3 weeks I'd been thinking about getting a tattoo.
Forever.
Yeah. I just have to do it. And
this is my life's work.
Yeah. And for 3 long weeks, I had been thinking about the placement of this tattoo. I needed symmetry. Like if you get a
Yes.
tattoo that's sort of like just a little bit on a bicep, for example, why is it not a bit to the left or a bit to the right?
I so relate to that.
Or if you get it on a hip, why is it not a bit lower or a bit higher?
Your chakras are
So
out.
you're saying there's a symmetrical part of your body?
It was the pedant that likes correct pronunciation also liked a reason to have a tattoo somewhere. The other advantage I thought about getting a tattoo there was, this is a part of my body that's not going to sag,
Yep.
right? Okay.
Gravity. Yeah. Yeah.
However, I walked into the West Melbourne tattoo parlor off the street. I did not know what tattoo I was going to get. For about 10 years, I told people that I designed the tattoo myself, but actually I just picked it off a wall.
No. Revelations.
Can I just ask a question about what else was going on in your life at that time? Because although you had wanted it forever, aka 3 weeks, often tattoos, people kind of have a connection to a significant period of time, so it marks a chapter. Or were you just feeling wild and free?
I think it was kind of like a combination of wild and free, and this is my life.
Yeah.
Is it because you were cashed up after a vinyl discharge gig?
Clearly not, Caroline. The only person cashed up after those gigs was you.
I didn't even know we earned any money until about 3 months ago when you told me that you'd embezzled it. So
She could have had a beautiful tattoo. She had to choose a cheap one off the wall.
Yeah.
So it was more just an assertion of like your nascent identity.
Of my Bunsen-ness. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just like a Bunsonification of the Bunsen.
I'm trying to remember it now. Is it a ring of flame?
It is
No,
not a flame.
It's sort of circular.
It's a Celtic flower, sort of,
Yeah.
not flower, but it's a Celtic, it's a weird 90s Celtic design.
Isn't it like a cross with like round bits around it? So it's like a clover almost?
It is.
Oh, it
a
is.
four-leaf clover.
Anyway, I should have got advice because this whole business of like, you're not going to sag, right? So I sat down and you kind of lean over so that they can make the skin taut to do the tattoo, which was incredibly painful. But I was like there for it, man. I'd spent 3 weeks building up to this shit. But then when you stand up, it's like a screen ratio that flattens. Like, so the thing that was supposed to be symmetrical is now instead of being a sphere, it's like a squashed oval when I stand. And that's the tattoo I've got.
That's life.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it now? Like when people say tramp stamp, do you kind of shudder internally or you never admit to it or you're constantly wearing high-waisted pants? What's the go?
To be honest, if someone says tramp stamp, they're not talking about me. They're talking about someone else because I didn't do it because Paris Hilton had one. And they weren't, I actually do think if we extensively, I'm going to research it.
Did Courtney Love have one? That's my question.
Heaps of people had them.
I'm going to research when the tramp stamp.
Why is it a tramp stamp? Why are we pulling it? Why isn't it one on your arm a tramp stamp?
You know, I'll tell you why it's a tramp stamp. It's along the lines of exactly what we discussed last week. So Derek Blasberg / Blas Turd. There was this kind of reaction against what would have been like happening in the noughties, which was exactly that. Paris Hilton, young women owning their sexuality. It was considered cheap and nasty. And it was just, I think anything that you could do to kind of brand those women in a kind of pejorative way was like the cultural conversation at the time. And that's why it seems like a long time ago, like when we were reading his book, it feels like the conversation has moved on. Like we can hold space for tramps and, you know, the Madonna whore complex is just like irrelevant now. Like let people live in their trampy peace. Like if you want to have a tramp stamp, I wouldn't even call it that. I don't like that, but it's an interesting kind of thing that we haven't fully reckoned with. And if I want to dance around a pole, leave me alone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, occasionally I think about getting it turned into something else. But honestly, the other genius thing of this placement is that I never have to see it. And unlike you, Victoria, who seems to have a very high awareness of your derriere, with your high crack anxiety.
Yep.
I just don't ever, honestly, I would go a month without thinking about it. Do you know what I mean?
That's the beauty of it. Bunsen, thank you for sharing. I am going to think about how we can rebrand that because I don't like the
No.
connotations of tramp stamp.
Yeah, it shouldn't actually be called a tramp stamp. It's more like,
Celebration stamp.
how about just a like butt stamp?
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, crack stamp. I just can't get away from it.
On the map of the human body, it's a kind of wayfinding demarcator.
Why don't you embrace your own high
I
crack
know. Get a bit of
identity by
decoration.
getting I'd be very interested to see where on your body that that kind of a tattoo.
You make an interesting point, Bunsen,
Yeah.
because when you think about the real estate that it would typically be located in, for me, if we want to have it above the butt crack,
like a waist stamp.
mid-back.
Can I suggest a butterfly with 2 wings on either
my
side
God.
of the crack, and that the crack is the body? No? And then some antenna that go all the way up to your shoulder blades.
Thank you. I'm going to start a GoFundMe. That's a great idea, Caroline. Shall we move on to something more edifying? And this actually concerns you, Caroline. So I have been doing some corporate training this week yet again.
Oh.
Yeah, it is sort of tangential. So I was in some corporate training about change management. Make of that what you will. I feel the same way.
I felt that you have changed, actually. You have changed a bit.
I don't think you're
Thank you.
managing it very well.
But both things are probably true. However, the woman running the course was lovely, and she did mention that she was into politics. And so we sat down to lunch, and I just thought, I'm assuming she would have seen Julia. And she said, yes, she did, and she enjoyed it. But she pivoted quite quickly to a show that she had enjoyed, I think, more, and that was Prima Facie, starring my very good friend Caroline Craig. It was an unprompted bit of critical feedback.
How much did you pay her? I'll give you all that money.
$0, Caroline. It was amazing.
That's great.
That's a lovely thing to hear. Thank you.
Yeah.
What did I say?
She was just saying how fantastic it was. It was,
it was
tour de force type stuff, and just that your performance was riveting.
And that it was a bit political, sort of, like in terms of rise up.
I think she felt that it was something important.
Well, it is. It is.
It is important. It really is. But I think she was really impressed with your performance, and that was so exciting to sort of just have that commentary like out in the wild, completely unbidden. I was like, that's my friend. But I thought it was interesting because like she had no idea, right, of our intimate connection. But I did think, oh my God, like feedback, unsolicited or solicited.
That's so nice. I love hearing that. Thank you.
It is nice, but it is part of your job. Like it's absolutely baked in, and it like starts basically in the audition room, like before you've even got the gig.
Oh, yeah.
Like how do you actually cope with that?
Badly. I cope badly.
But you don't, because you're alive. And
you keep going back for more.
And you're still doing it, and you're getting roles.
Yeah. I'm a masochist. It's because I love pain. The very first audition I ever did was for a TV thing when I was at drama school, and I was so nervous I actually couldn't focus my eyes. So my eyes were
I feel like that right now, but that's just old age. Anyway.
Well, they said, what are you doing with your eyes? Could you just look at one thing?
But that's because you have a lazy eye, right?
I was so nervous. A lot of actors, when they get super successful, they don't audition anymore and they only get asked to do things. That's my ultimate dream. It's happened to me 1 or 2 times, but very rarely. And now after COVID and lockdowns and all casting going into self-tapes, everyone doing everything on their own, I actually love going into auditions because it means you get to see people and be in a room with other people and act with other people.
Can you actually tell, like in an audition, just through body language and stuff, whether it's going well, like whether you're going to nail the part?
I think I can. I really think I can. I think when I get something, I know if I'm in the wheelhouse or not. I got something 38 all ethnicities the other day. I was like, I don't reckon I'm getting that just through sheer jerky neck. But I gave it a go anyway. But then you get in there. Sometimes you're doing it and you're doing your thing. You're like, I'm giving it my best shot. And the directors, they're like flicking through their phone, ordering their lunch.
Oh, my God.
I know that they're doing other stuff. and you get this really strong feeling like, oh, thanks. That was, and do you want me to go again? Because I could do it. No, I think we've seen enough. And you go, oh, okay. Okay. So, and then you just know they've already probably cast it. Or you were just so bad they can't bear having you in their room. A couple of times I have gone in. The big mistake is going from a theatre audition to a TV audition.
Because you're so big.
Yeah. When I've gone in, I remember doing this show at MTC, and then I went in. I think it was like maybe for the Underbelly audition that I ended up getting, but it was like further down the track. I went in there and I was like, get on the ground, get him on the ground. And they go, okay, Caroline, just we're just here. We're just here. You don't have to.
There's no stall. There's no one's in the stalls.
Inside voice.
There's no one in the balcony.
Yeah.
Just running in.
All you need to do is just raise an eyebrow.
Yeah, a couple of times I have nearly, like I tell you, wet my pants. I've done a lot of things. I've been so nervous. I've spilt water down my front. I just get super nervous. But now I just love it, and I just give it a red hot go. But when I say red hot go, they do sometimes say, that's all we need. We'll be in touch. I mean, honestly, it's the classic.
So how do you walk out of the room and hold your head high?
Well, I used to slink out and like pretend I wasn't there. I've done a few auditions. I've had to do auditions in my undies and stuff like that.
Jesus Christ.
With a bra on?
Well, I wore a bra, but some of the other actresses didn't, and they got the roles. Like I've been to those.
Oh my God.
Do you think that would happen today? Because that was a little while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, I remember even going in to the casting place and reading the scripts and seeing these other actresses who I knew were going for the same role as me. That's the most nerve-wracking thing, just before the audition, just before like going in, seeing all the other actors who look like you. And I've done some in the US as well, where it's just like everyone looks like me, except they're a bit younger and they're a bit older, their hair's done a lot better than mine, or they're, something, and you do all these mental tricks to yourself. Which are usually pretty self-defeating. And but I remember going in, and it was for this show Satisfaction that was about prostitution, right?
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was set in a like a brothel, is that right?
It was all set in a brothel. I don't know if it would be made now or how it would be made. Probably be made differently. There certainly would be female directors on it, but at the time there were all male directors. It was all male production.
That actually blows my mind. Just even knowing that.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it was all male production, but.
And were your undies that you wore, were they just like your normal sort of grey moth-eaten ones?
Or the ones you might have stolen from a female relative?
Oh, yeah. Actually, were they your mother-in-law's undies?
What were the undies?
Now can you see why other people's undies are more attractive than mine? I'm scarred. But I remember going and meeting this other actress, and I was saying, oh my God, it's so full on. They want us to be in our undies. And she's like, really? Do you think so? I just wore my leopard print G. And I was like, oh, did you? She went, yeah. I mean, I just wore whatever made me feel hot. And I mean, you should wear something that makes you feel hot, because, I mean, you're hot too. See, I'm hot. And you're hot in your own way, you're hot.
Was she doing a mind fuckery trick though? Because that is like sports psychology. Like she was like negging you. It's like that boxing match where people like eye each other up. It's psyops.
Yeah.
Imagine if you had got that. Like it obviously was not the right. It's not the right.
Well, it was painful. And in the actual audition, I remember the other actor who was reading with me. They're the people I really feel sorry for. The people who are the readers, right? And I have been a reader a couple of times, and I've had crazy sex scenes with people, like I've had to do stuff. I'm like, sure. Yeah, no, whatever, do whatever you need. I'm here for you. Oh, okay, yep. And
really?
Yeah. It never gets that bad. Like I've never done anything super dodgy, but I have, been like, with some French directors and helped out other actors who were.
Have you had to tongue kiss in an audition?
No, not tongue kiss. But, I'm an actor, mate. Like, honestly, it's all you can do to keep the clothes on them, actors. So, I was like, yeah, sure. Do whatever. Like, just do whatever makes you feel real, that kind of thing. I was like, oh, walked out with a massive rash. But
Pass rash, not
Pretty
syphilis or anything
yeah.
like that.
And I was just the reader. I was the reader. I wasn't even getting a gig on that. It was someone like, Robin Wright Penn was actually in that. I was just like, I just got her rash for it.
You did get something.
She was too busy doing something else. But I do remember that Satisfaction audition. I got so nervous after that conversation that I just completely slathered myself in fake tan and then in sort of bronzer and all this sort of stuff. And I got these pants that were basically ribbed ticklers, like just the worst unsexy ever. And
So
it
you were an
was
Oompa Loompa. You were orange
an orange Oompa Loompa.
in very
That's
bright white
that's right.
high-waisted undies.
Very unsexy.
You sort of look like a nappy, probably. Like
Yeah.
And maybe
Yeah.
with some of the fake tan, the brown rubbing off on it. Like,
That's what
Oh!
happened. And the brown rubbed off. I remember the brown rubbed off not only
Streaky undies.
on the chair of the at the audition and on the other actor. So they had a bit of
You just probably were an insurance risk at that point, Caroline. No wonder they couldn't afford you. You were going to stain everything with
I
you.
literally slipped out of that audio, slid out. Anyway, but that was my thing at that time. I was just so, needless to say, I didn't get that one. Okay, guys.
So the mind tricks you're playing really are just how much fake tan do I need? That's what you're thinking.
Exactly. And then I walk out and I instantly make everyone else feel more confident. And also it's one or two really bad things happen. You fall off the stage, for instance, which has also happened to me. You do some things like that, smear everyone with a fake tan. What do you got to lose?
that's the advantage of having no dignity.
You absolutely nailed it, Bunsen.
We have a listener dilemma, Caroline.
Is Caroline going to read it? Is this an audition?
She is. It is an audition. I have just sent you your lines via email.
I like how you withheld that,
Did this come to the LinkedIn? Did
LinkedIn,
this come
yes.
through SU Media or?
No, it is via email, souncouthpod@gmail.com. But if you also want to find us on LinkedIn, it is SU Media. I have got issues with LinkedIn, as you know, so I'm going to need to be buoyed by some kind of engagement because I'm ready to turf the whole thing. And anyway, carry on, Caroline. What is the listener dilemma?
Dear wise Couth, help. The days are ticking down to a workplace morale-boosting trivia night with a 90s theme. I finished school in the early 90s, and I probably still dress as if I'm in the 90s, so I thought it wouldn't be a stretch. But no. Each table has been assigned a leader/coordinator to organise a costume theme for the table. The theme that has been proposed to me is Mads and MJ.
What's that?
Is that Madonna?
I'm guessing. The table leader sent us all a message on the table WhatsApp group about why this is such a good idea. Mads Madonna has so many looks for the gals to choose from, and MJ, Michael Jackson, did too for the guys. Plus, they dated for a while.
What? No. Did
I
they?
did not know.
I don't think that's right.
I don't want to rain on anyone's parade, but do they know anything about Michael Jackson? I still love his music, but is it okay to dress up as a pedophile at a work function? It's been crickets on the WhatsApp group. No one has said anything, including me. Now I've left it too late, and it's 5 days till the trivia night. Help from a loyal listener. Brackets, please don't say my name on your podcast.
Oh my God, that
that's
is
a
a
great
dilemma.
That's so bad. This is like the reality of corporate life. So, okay, Michael Jackson, alleged pedophile. Like, I don't think he was ever convicted, but I would consider that a case closed situation.
I mean, could they send the WhatsApp group a link to that documentary, Leaving Neverland? Have either of you seen that?
Yes. Yeah.
I haven't. Has he officially been posthumously cancelled?
Yes, I would say so.
I mean, I don't know how you really define that. Like, I mean, his estate is still earning money from his songs. Like, people still play his music.
I just also think that there's that thing where people might inappropriately do blackface.
Is that corporate life?
Yes.
There is that too. Like, it's very gendered as well. Like,
Yeah.
Why don't you just say Madonna? Everyone get dressed up as Madonna.
if
You know what I
the
mean?
listener identifies as a man, they kind of have no choice but to go
As an offensive character.
as Michael Jackson or as a man in drag doing Madonna. Like, it's tricky because you've got your workplace relationships, which are who knows what they are, but they're usually quite complicated and political. And who knows if the person who has suggested the theme is senior to the person who's writing.
Can I just reveal something?
Yeah.
Here's what I would do, and maybe this says bad things about me, but I would just see how poorly this could play out because of like my background in journalism in the age of social media and just knowing like how much this stuff can turn into a nightmare.
Shitstorm.
Yeah, no, beyond your control.
Yeah.
Like if anything like that got posted on
Oh,
social
yeah,
media,
you could end up like with photos like, some politicians have.
the workplace would be cancelled, essentially. I would immediately take this to HR subtly and just kind of have a word, not with a punitive outcome in mind, but just sort of go, look, here's what I see the problems as being, and just go, can we make it something a bit more gender neutral and like criminally neutral as well?
That doco, the Leaving Neverland doco, which is about these.
It's quite heartbreaking, isn't it?
It's an incredible documentary, actually.
It's about young dancers who worked with him.
Yeah.
And under what conditions.
And the whole kind of like corrupting nature of fame, and it also really goes into the parents and what the parents thought was going on. Like, it's really complicated. I mean, he may not have been criminally convicted, but there is no question in my mind that...
Oh, yeah. Like, case closed. I thought those allegations were completely believable, but clearly some people either don't know about them or they don't believe them.
This person, I agree with their kind of like taking a second look at it, because I just don't think you can...
You can't let it go through.
You can't, yeah.
It's inappropriate on so many levels. Someone either willfully or just ignorantly has plowed ahead with this. And it's just like, it doesn't speak to now in terms of the things that you were saying about gender, and it's not very sensitive to people of different cultural backgrounds who might have no relationship to Madonna or Michael Jackson.
That's a good point, Victoria. Thank you. Thank you for that. But can I also just point something out, a detail in this email that cannot go unquestioned is that Michael Jackson and Madonna dated. I just don't.
Yeah, that is.
I don't think that's true.
I don't buy it.
And if they did, it would have just been for, photos.
I think they were once on a red carpet together, weren't they?
This is a colleague that I would forevermore avoid because their pop culture knowledge is just diabolical. And if there's something that's important to me, it's 90s pop culture. And this sort of stuff really winds me up.
Do you remember them dating, Victoria?
No, they didn't date. And if they did, it would have been PR relationship.
The other thing that this person could do is go dressed as Bubbles, the chimp. Remember how Michael Jackson had a pet chimp? Oh, I'm looking at Victoria's face. She's just like, that is tasteless.
You know how I feel about chimps, okay? I don't want to see chimp cosplay either.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Sorry. Okay.
Do you know what I'd be doing? Handing in my letter of resignation. It's the only way. You got to torch this particular bridge and move on with your life.
Come on, this person has got 5 days. We need to help them out, okay?
Yeah, we want to help them out. What can we do?
Oh, geez. I thought I was. That was my best effort.
Quit.
Or just not go, get COVID on the day.
Oh, but it's a quiz night. I love a trivia night. It's
no,
so fun.
I couldn't let this pass. All right, let's land the plane. Let's offer our best advice.
You're the only one who knows how to land planes, though, Victoria, so please
Indeed.
just land it. We can move on.
Are we not landing this plane?
I can't land the plane.
So actually, I'm going to go back to my best advice. I would go around this person. I'd set up a meeting with HR, explain to them why you think this is a terrible idea, and then just subtly suggest another theme. Just go, why don't we broaden it out so that we can be any pop star we want from the 90s, and then maybe privately message them a couple of links or about MJ or get HR to do it.
Okay.
I'd deputise other people in the organisation. You've got to weaponise corporate structure.
Damn, you're going hard. You're hardcore.
This
You're
is
going to the top.
why you are earning the big bucks,
boss.
Victoria Hannaford. This is why you are doing corporate training change management, all right? And whilst we
change it.
While somebody else is wearing their undies to an audition and no one even knows what I'm doing.
Thank you for finally recognising that I am, in fact, a powerful executive in a tracksuit. No, I think there's only one way. When you're in a corporate environment, you've got to work with what's available to you. And a lot of this is about diffuse language, deploying covert operations through particular structures that are mostly oppressive. But in this case, you can, like I like to do with all things, reverse ferret it to your advantage.
I now understand. This whole kind of diffuse language saying, did you just use a double negative? No one really knows. Perfect for the corporate structure. Well done. Got it.
Yeah. There you go.
Good luck. Have fun. I hope you win the trivia.
All right. Well, is it time for our So Uncouth of the Week?
Please.
This also touches the corporate sphere. An Australian billionaire boss aims to end staff going out for coffee.
I saw that.
What the fuck is wrong with people?
Like during work hours or what?
I'll let you know. His name is Chris Ellison, and as per The Guardian, a billionaire mining boss who has already banned home working has said he does not want staff to step out of the office for coffee either. Chris Ellison, the managing director of Mineral Resources, we already know he is pillaging the earth for his own financial gain, and now he wants to oppress his workers. I want to hold them captive all day, Ellison said.
Quote unquote. Really?
Yes, during a financial presentation.
Was he Mr. Burns out of The Simpsons?
I don't want them leaving the building. I don't want them walking down the road for a cup of coffee.
I want them chained to their desks.
Ellison was paid $6 million last year.
Does he get to go out for coffee?
He probably has butlers bringing him coffee. What is going on with this dude? Like, he's obviously a control freak.
He wants everyone in his sight, doesn't he?
You need to be in the office and not leaving and captive.
The words, I want to hold them captive all day long.
Does that make you want to rush to work that day? Get my shackles on.
He is a corporate fritzel.
He is digging a big basement in the land.
You know, and the working from home thing, like, I just want him to know that this is a highly successful podcast. It is produced at home. So eat that, Chris Ellison.
Yeah.
What's wrong with home?
Exactly. Although I'm too tight to go out and pay for coffee. That's a separate issue. But
yeah, is he going to provide the coffee? Is he going to, you know what, maybe he's going to run out.
No, apparently he does provide coffee, but it's for $3.
What? He makes them buy their own coffee?
I know. He's a dirtbag.
Can I ask, with the $3 of the coffee, is that like a crappy Nespresso coffee? Like, is that, what is the coffee that they're paying $3 for?
It's going to be pods. I can guarantee it's pods.
No, I think he does that thing of kind of saying, I want to keep them captive all day, but it's under the guise of like, we provide a cost-efficient childcare for them. Like, and so basically what he's saying is you kind of create the conditions that people don't want to leave. So there's I think a barista on site offering like decent coffee, but for $3. So it's cheaper than going out. But I just think that he doesn't realize that vocalizing this stuff creates an instant tension whereby people might have been quite happy to work there and have all of these kind of resources available to them. But now he's drawn attention to it.
Now they know the truth.
Billionaires are so out of touch.
And you're going to draw even more attention to it, Victoria.
Well, it's interesting to me that they've forgotten that things they say publicly actually end up in the ears of their audience, but also when I think about it, that's also us. So it's maybe something that we can all learn from.
I think so. I mean, we've already had some backfiring situations with underpants, for example.
The truth is going to leak. Is that what we're saying?
And my high crack, I've already put that on LinkedIn and I'm having second thoughts about it. I might have to do a reverse ferret on that.
Have you put high crack on LinkedIn?
Are you paying $59.95 for the high crack?
Have you called yourself Victoria High Crack Hannaford?
No, but it's on SU Media. Anyway, see it while you can because I might have to take it down. And on that note, I'm going to have to copy this later because really
You've got a lot of work to do.
I've done too much damage to my reputation already.
Danger zones.
See ya, High Crack.
See ya.
Copy you later.
So